Gently close your eyes. Make sure your phone's on silent. Take a deep breath in. Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. Okay. Thank you all for the feedback from last week. There are things that I will change in order to accommodate the feedback. And there are things that I'll continue with. So it seems like some things worked and some didn't. One of the things that didn't work was at the end of it, it would be nice to know what that verse means, even if it's a little bit, even if we go over time before I finish class. So I'll do that. I like the suspense of it because what happens is when I'm going to record here, so give me 1 second. Before, in my classes, the teacher would purposefully end that way because then we would open the book outside of class. That's the habit I've picked up. So he would just chant the last verse. He'd say, go, do your reading, and then when you come back, we'll discuss it, because that forced us to do some reflection, right? But I will do better for here, and I'll go over it before we finish class. Another feedback was to kind of review the last 20 minutes of class last week, because we talked about something a little dense. It was Sadhya Sadhana Sambandha, and that can get complicated. So I'll go ahead and clarify that. The reason I brought that up is this text is called Sadhana Panchakam, right? So what does sadhana mean? Sadhana is a means, it's a way. And sadhana can include various habits or practices that one engages in, okay? Now, when we say sadhana, which is the means, we need to be clear about the goal, right? You don't just get in the car and say, chalo, something happens. No, we have to have a destination. Whether it's GPS telling us or our mind or memory telling us, we need to have a goal. That goal is called sadhya in Sanskritam. The reason I use sadhya sadhana is it's easy to remember because it kind of alliterates it maybe. So that's why I use those terms. Sadhana, the means, right? The way. Sadhya, the goal. I said the goal for all of us, whether we are aware or not, is moksha. We'll get to why that's the case. You want to debate about it, I'm happy to do so. Right? We will, because it's important. It's important to feel that that's the case for us. And if we don't feel that way, that's fine. I can't force anyone to think anything, but I can state my, opinion, as can everyone. So that's why I said sadhya sadhana. I hope we're clear about those terms. Now, the relationship between those terms in this book. This book, Panchakam, 5. There are 5 stanzas, And in each of the 5 stanzas, there are 8 instructions. Whether we are able to do all 8 instructions from all of the 5 stanzas is up to us. I'm not saying it's impossible. It is possible. But it's up to us what we can choose to practice. So that's the relationship. We will get these tips, these advice. And who is this advice from? Most people didn't have a problem following the story part of class. It is from Adi Shankaracharya ji. Why does it matter to us today? Because we're humans. And the human birth has been the same since the beginning of humans, no matter when you want to say the beginning of time is. You start Manushadarupa, you start wherever. Humans are humans, human minds are human minds. How pure the minds are, how focused the minds are, that changes, right, over millennia. But the reality is human mind needs a guide. Human mind needs some kind of discipline. Because the nature of the mind is to jump. The nature of the mind is to go, 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 go. Even now, you come into class, oh, I forgot to pack this for my daughter. I forgot to do this for my son. Did I park in that place they said not to park? Do I need to go change it? Like, we're already going a mile a minute, right? So the mind needs some kind of, if you guys have been bowling, right? You have those bumpers. And even adults ask for a bumper sometimes if they're not good at bowling. We need those bumpers, especially for this mind. That's why we need great Adi Shankaracharya ji to any gurus from a parampara to help us on this path. The mind is also not the same as it is yesterday, today, and today, tomorrow. Morning, evening. Morning, I might be I am peace. I am happiness. I want to give joy to everyone. 10 minutes later, nobody's waking up. You have to do this, that. Why? And the mind is agitated. So it's fickle. So we need constant reminders, and I'm grateful I get to come every Sunday and remind my mind to follow these instructions as much as possible. So we had a few questions, and they will be answered throughout class. I'm going to read the questions so you're aware that they're there. Need to know more about Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta chanting. The beauty about Srimad Bhagavad Gita is there's a verse for anything and everything. So as we do Sadhana Panchakam, there will be bits and pieces of the Bhagavad Gita and verses I'll bring in. So we'll do that in this class. And I can give you more about it later. How to learn or lean towards God and make peace in everyday lives. That's sadhana. And that is what we will study. How are you navigating my jiva and knowing when to let go as a mom? Every day I'm navigating that, and I'll share. I mean, as you noticed from last week, it's not that my personal life is my personal life and Vedanta is Vedanta. To apply Vedanta is life. If I can't apply it, then where's the authenticity in that, right? So I will share. I will share where I was quasi-successful. I'll share when I failed, everything. So hopefully that can help. Instead of me coming up with a theory, I think real-life examples help. On the topic of sadhana, is it something you work on every day or something that stays with you once you attain it? That's a good question. So if it's a means or a practice, can I just exercise really hardcore, go to a boot camp for 1 week and then stop and I will be fit for the rest of life? No. I mean, if you can, tell me if that exists. Same way. Will the mind always say, okay, mind, I'm going to go to a silent retreat 7 days. I will control you. And then you come home. What come home? Get into your car. It's like this, right? It can help. Intense periods of sadhana can help. It usually helps by bringing out the things that are bubbling the most. When you do things like silent retreats and stuff, or even if you do Maunavratam meaning a vow of silence, right? Some people do Maunam every Monday, every Thursday, Friday, something. Those days are when your mind is exploding the most, right? Just like right before you sleep, you have to make your grocery list. You have to figure out when you're doing laundry. You have to figure out, hey, what am I cooking tomorrow? What's in the fridge? What's rotting? What's not rotting? What's the agenda for tomorrow's meeting? My manager wants this stand-up call every day. There's nothing to talk about. Everybody's still working. Right before we sleep, it's there, right? So when we do intense sadhana, things happen where things bubble up. But steady sadhana every day, same time, that is what gives us consistency, right? That is what gives us a sthiram. I don't know how to translate that, but a firmness, and a backbone, if you will, for spiritual practice. Stillness, maybe. Steadiness. Equilibrium. Yes, it does. Discipline. Yes, all of those. Sanskritam, it's tough to translate into one word, all of these words together. Yes. So, is it something you work on every day? Yes. You don't attain a sadhana, you attain sadhya. But then again, if you attain something, is it possible to lose it? That's a question. I don't know. That's for later on. So those are the questions. Thank you for the questions. There was one at the end of class about sadhana before and after Vedanta course. That is very personal, so I'll share that after the recording. So we'll do that one at the end of class. That's it. So we'll get started. Please get the book if you don't have it. It's only $5, I hear. So that way you can follow along when we chant. This time we won't do lead and repeat. We'll just flow through it. And we'll take it apart, the Sanskritam. I'm not a Pandita by any means in Sanskritam. I studied Sanskritam at the Vedanta course and as a teenager for a course that I did in Chinmay Mission, but that's it. So if you have any suggestions or questions with the Sanskritam and it's something you want to talk about, please write it down and I'll bring it up if it pertains to the general public. If it doesn't, then we can have a personal discussion about it because I think most people get bored very quickly when we get into the nitty-gritty details of something, right? So this is keeping everybody in mind. So if you are, and I've had people in my classes that are just like, well, when you connected these words, it could be, okay. Like, I don't know that much, but I am interested in it. So we can have a personal dialogue. So I'll just do the basic translation of the Sanskritam. And then, of course, the English commentary. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karmasvanushthiyatam teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistyajyatam papogah paridhuyatam bhavasukhe doshonusandhiyatam आत्मेच्छाव्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम् आत्मेच्छाव्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम् वेदो नित्यमधीयतां तदुदितं कर्मस्वनुष्ठीयताम्. I'll just do the first line. I do the whole thing, it's too much. Too much to focus on for all of us. Vedo nityam adhiyatam. Dhi dhatu, to study. Study what? So if you're looking at the Sanskritam, there's just like English. Noun, verb, noun, verb, noun, verb, right? You look for the verb, that's the easiest thing. Dhi, to study. Then where's the noun there in that phrase? Vedaha, Veda. What do I have to do every day? Study the Vedas. Next one. Tad uditam karmasvanushthiyatam. Tad uditam. What is said in the Vedas? Okay, this is key. That's why I'm focusing. Tad uditam. What is given in the Vedas? That karma svanushtiyatam. Anushtana. You've heard that in some languages. Anushtana madavek, anushtana, anushtana. People say anushtana is this taking up or doing something, your discipline, but it's not just any discipline, it's a karma. It's a nitya everyday. Nitya everyday. Nitya karma. Right? So there's also naimitika karma. Special things. So Navratri time, there might be special karmas you do, special pujas, special foods, special dancing, special clothes, but that's not given in Vedas. So, Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karma svanushthiyatam. Simply said. Done. Okay, next. No? If that's the case, we'll finish this in 5 days. This is not going to take 5 days. It'll take maybe 15 weeks. So, what are we studying every day? Vedas. What is considered Vedas? There's Vedas, there's Vedanta, there's Upanishads, there's Bhagavad Gita, then there's commentaries. What is that? So, simply put, Vedas include everything in Sanatana Dharma, the scriptures we have. If you look at other religions, they have one book, one prophet, right? One way of doing things. The beauty of Sanatana Dharma is the diversity. We don't have one book. You like the Bhagavad Gita, you study that. You study that diligently, that's enough. You don't need to study all these other texts. You're a lover of Srimad Bhagavatam. You study Srimad Bhagavatam diligently. Satyam param dhimahi, it said. Janmadhyasya yaton vayadi taratas charteshva. Beautiful verse. Charteshva bigneswarat. There's a beautiful verse. Just the Mangalacharanam, which is the first verse. People think the Bhagavatam is just what? Am I making assumptions? It's just what? Bhagavatam is whose story, we think? Thank you. I'm like, okay, wait, maybe I need to go back. We just think Srimad Bhagavatam is Bhagavan Krishna's story. That's a part of the curriculum, hopefully. We know. It's not. There's so many stories. It talks about the beginning of time. In fact, it talks about pregnancy. It talks about the human embryo, how the embryo develops over time. It talks about Ayurveda, it talks about all of these things, right? So, it also talks about the truth. That's what gives you moksha. You know the truth, you're liberated. Knowledge. So, maybe I just want to study Srimad Bhagavatam. I love Bhagavan Krishna, and that's all I want. He will take you to the truth. Sometimes people want to debate jnana versus bhakti. I need the knowledge. I am Advaitin. I don't touch any murtis and all this. Or bhakti. Why do you people sit and debate all the time? My Bhagavan's enough. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he says, Shraddhavan lavate jnanam. Ha, Shraddha. Shraddha, again, very bad translation into faith, the English word faith, but it's beyond faith, it's that conviction. Shraddha, Shraddha, I know it is. Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan in Bhagavan, right? I know Bhagavan will take care of me and move me through this janma and whatever janma comes. I know Bhagavan is watching me. I know I can talk to Bhagavan when something's wrong. And he will hold your hand and send you to some Vedanta class. Right? He won't say, hey, my bhakta shouldn't study. At least that's the case for me and my Bhagavan. Because I would say, hey, why do I need to attend all these classes? It just doesn't go in. Why? All this Sanskritam and all. He says, come, go to the Vedanta course. Learn. Learn the truth. That I am that. It's not about that versus me. So, Vedas are all of these scriptures. Vedanta is not, they say it's the end of the Vedas, right? It's physically located in the end, not always. Vedanta is the essence of the Vedas, that truth that can be found in any text that speaks of the truth. You can find it in Srimad Bhagavatam, you can find it in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is highlighted in the Upanishads. Upanishads, right? Upa, close to a guru, you study it. Upanishads, that truth. So when I pick up a random newspaper or I read some horoscope and it says, this is what you have to do today, please do it and your life will be fine for this week, Leo, Scorpio, whatever, this, that. Is that my sadhana? No. That's not Vedas. Unless you go to a Pandita who knows Jyotish Shastra and says certain things to you, it's different. But something you find on BuzzFeed, because I can talk about BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed, I don't know any Panditas that write for BuzzFeed, so if somebody ends up writing, we'll see. Or these nobody reads newspapers, but random things, these reels, whatever. They're telling you this is Vedas. Oh, reels, man. So many great Panditas on reels. There's a few people that speak the truth there. But that's not Vedas. I told you what is. Our scriptures. What is not? All of this. Other garbage. Well, my neighbor told me, and maybe your neighbor knows, but you have to, Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji, I don't know where he is, this one, okay. Swami Chinmayananji, he's all about you try it. Don't take my word. Right? So yes, maybe your neighbor says something. Maybe your grandmother, great-grandmother, somebody, your mother says something. He says, why? Do you have conviction? Somebody can drag you and put you in a chair in this room. Do you have conviction? You can drag your children, but that's the age for dragging, right? Because that's your duty as a parent. But as we get older, as we mature, that doesn't work. We have to do it. I need that anubhava. I need that experience in order to do. In order to believe, actually. So do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, find another means. Maybe understand the context. When I was having a child, so many people, so many different advices, right? Then we took the baby to India because all of his family and most of my family is in India. We took them. Oh, you don't do this? Do this. So they, God bless them. My Periyamma, so my Pedamma, my mom's bigger sister, older sister. She's not bigger, she's older. She's amazing with babies, right? She's already taken care of so many grandkids. So I said, okay, she knows what she's doing. But this baby is brought up with like sponge baths and all in America. She gave the baby a bath. Took us 2 weeks to get rid of the fear. My baby would not even enter the bathroom without screaming. I was like, oh God, when is she gonna get used? We tried everything. We tried bathing outside. We tried everything we tried. Playing, I am sitting with her, husband sitting with her, nothing. Only after 2 weeks, she's like, okay, they're not gonna attack me like last time. I mean, for those of you who are not laughing, you have not seen Indian babies being bathed. It's like serious, like massage. What is it? Yeah, massaging, twisting, pulling. And it's not wrong, right? It's not. Because all of my cousins' children were taken care of that way, and they're fine. They're thriving, in fact. But this baby, American baby, could not handle it. So, some wisdom we get. That doesn't mean the wisdom is wrong. Right? I have full respect. It works for many. But I had to try it. I didn't, unfortunately, baby had to try it, experiment it, see it work, if it worked or not. So we have to try. Some things that work for others may not work for us. And my baby sits and eats by herself. You know, she has the little finger food, whatever. And 5-year-olds, I guess, am I an aunt to them? Yeah, my nieces and nephews, they're still being chased to eat their namamam, right? So different things, different places. And when we go to India, let her be fed. What's the harm? It's fine. Feeding has its love. Me doing dishes while she eats has my efficiency, right? So, different advice, different things from different places. Not all of us is Vedas. Veda Vachanam, no. And just because it comes out of certain people's mouths and they're wearing certain clothes doesn't have to be true for you. I'll keep it that general. Because you can buy clothes anywhere. Right? Anyone can wear certain clothes and say anything they want. You do it. Does it work for you? Does it work for your family? Does it work for your environment? Right? So Vedas, Shastras. Shastras, I've given you clear examples. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I brought the mini book today. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and texts from a parampara. So this is one such text. So you may ask, where does this fall in? It's not Bhagavad Gita, it's not Upanishads, what are you teaching? It's by Adi Shankaracharya ji with commentary by Gurudev. Therefore, this is my Veda. Now, does that mean I should not question it? Again, no. You can disagree, you can question. There even might be certain words used in this that you say, why does he use this word? Perhaps in today's context, it's not something that makes sense to us. What is the essence? And I've needed so much. I've gone to Swamiji, so I grew up in Dallas, Swami Sarveshananji was there, so many times. Swamiji, he says this. How could he, me, asking how could he say these words? Swamiji patiently explained. He used she here. He used he here. He used God as a male here, a female here. Why? I grew up here. I will have tons of questions. Nowadays, it doesn't matter where you grow up. Tons of questions. So it's okay to have questions and clarifications, but respect should be there. Just like the Indian bathing system didn't work for my baby, but I still have respect for it, right? If there's a baby born in India, yes, I will be like, Perima, come. Take her. So we should have respect, but it's okay to question for our own clarity. So there, Vedas. What is not Vedas? Nityam adhiyatam, study it every day. How do we study it every day? Simplest thing, Gurudev says. Take one verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Whether you understand it or not, just take that verse for the day and read it. Maybe there's certain chanting that you do. Do that chanting every day. Whatever it is. Least, I always loved this. So I grew up listening to Vishnu Sahasranamam at home, right? It would play all the time, whether we say it or not, it's there. The last part, you miss everything. What's the last part? Palashruti is there. Shri Rama Rama Raveti Rave Rame Mano Rave. Right? I'm Miss Subbalakshmi ji. You miss everything. You just say Shri Rama Rama. And who says this? Shivji. He says you just say Rama Rama. Because Parvati ji asks, look, I need a short version. What is the short version? What is enough? Rama. Ayyo Rama. At least once we can say. Right? It's there. Ayyo Rama. So many people scolding with Rama's name. They're blessed. They are blessed. Because even in anger, Rama. We used to make fun of my parents. Then we become our parents. And kids see that. They hear that. And why not have positive vibrations even when you're angry? Even Rama's name can change that the negativity to positivity, right? So minimum, japa. That's given in our Shastras, in Srimad Bhagavatam itself. In Kali Yuga, you say japa of your Ishta Devata. It doesn't have to be Rama. It can be Krishna. It can be Bajrang Bali. It can be anybody, right? So japa, minimum. Medium, right? One verse. There's so many apps these days for Bhagavad Gita also. So many apps. Download an app. You have apps for this, that, Domino's, McDonald's, Taco Bell, this, that, Amazon. Get an app for Bhagavad Gita. Let it be there. Maybe one day you're bored, you'll at least open it. We always have our phone. There's a chance we may open it. So that's another Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. Then I have nothing else really in life. I'm just, I'm retired. I just go running, and I come home, I eat this and that, take a nap, listen to a satsang. Every day. Pick Srimad Bhagavatam. We don't even need to ask. So many great satsangs are available. Ramakrishna Mission, Gurudev, obviously, Chinmaya Mission. Reputable, places have great satsangs. You don't want to sit in front of the camera, your eyes hurt, podcast. Just listen, right? Listen to a satsang, because nothing, that speaks to you somehow when you actually hear a satsang. So every day, one satsang. And I said maybe retirement age you do this, you can do this even today. In fact, I remember going to Chinmaya Mission, and then I was in college. Oh, so busy. I'm telling you, and if your kids have a problem, they can talk to me. We're not that busy in college, okay? We really aren't. Half the time, it's just nonsense. I'd say more than half. And I'm telling you, I had a job during college. I was pre-med. Obviously, I'm not a doctor today, but I was pre-med. And I did a lot of extracurricular activities. I was part of 10 different clubs. Who knows why? You just do it. And I still tell you 50% of the time was, Mom, I'm so busy. I don't have time to talk. Okay. You don't need to believe them. You can still say okay. Right? So at that age also, there would be times, we would have satsang in college. Right? Maybe we didn't want to listen to a satsang on a... I don't think it was that popular to sit in front of YouTube as much back then. Not back then. But we had a study group, right? Just 3-4 girls. And not all of us had gone to mission, but we just wanted to figure out how to navigate college as girls while sticking to the Shastras. That's all. How do we do this? Because most of the time you're the weirdo, right? You wear a bindi, you're a weirdo. You do this, you're a weirdo. Right now, they're so much more accepting. And everybody says this way, that way about the new generation, right? You have polarizing views. But I see kids these days that wear bindi to class, that started groups where they do Navratri. They have 9 days of Aarti and Garba, right? You have kids that do things like that, okay? And you have kids who don't. That's all. It's just who they are. Fine. So this study group that we did, that's how we did Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. That's how we did it. It wasn't Nitya. It was weekly once, but Nitya we can do on our own. So Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. I think I've addressed Vedas, Nityam, every day. And every day, same time. Duration, maybe one day you have the ability to sit for 10 minutes. One day, 1 hour. One day, just 1 minute. Whatever it is, try to keep the timing the same. That's what I've been taught, and it's helped. So some people say, I don't have time for this, I do puja. Puja is a part of your sadhana. Is it Veda? No, but it's Karma, and we'll get to karma. So while you're doing puja, see, you have Shodashopchara puja, right? How many is that? Steps. 16 steps. And then you can do some dance, nritya, you can do some singing, you can do anything. And you can also make a huge array of food for Naivedyam, right? You can elongate a puja for days. Months also, I've seen. People do month-long pujas also, like particular things that they pray for, right? But you can also do a puja, manasika puja. You can do it in 1 minute in your mind. You can also give naivedya of water every day. You can, right? Why? Bhagavad Gita, it says so. Not because I said so or somebody said so. Patram pushpam palam toyam. Anything. You can give me a leaf. Pushpam, one flower. Palam, one fruit. Toyam, water. Just one drop of water. Whatever you give me. You just have to give it to me with devotion, with love. So, is it worth making 15 different items? Why this Deepavali comes every year? This Navaratri, why is it not like Deepavali? Just one day done. 9 days I have to cook. Nobody's forcing us. I know it's hard to hear. And see, when I was single, people were like, she can say, she doesn't know. No, I'm a grihastha. And I'm still telling you, many of the things that we don't like to do, we impose on ourselves. Society will be society. You choose how to participate. At the end of the day, your neighbors will not come for you. And you say, no, my neighbors are the best. They, you don't know. Some, they babysat my dog for a whole week. They're great neighbors. Sure. Something happens, God forbid, in their family, they'll go to their family first. Reality. Within our family, my brother and sister, tang. They just, Raksha Bandhan comes and, it's love. People get married, people have kids, people get jobs, people move states, people move countries. Yeah, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm going somewhere with this. At the end of the day, Krishna, at the end of the day, it's not about the society, Krishna. It's not about the society, it's not about family, right? Because the society wants me to do this. It expects me to do this. No, if I don't make this idli, the certain fluffiness, kushbu idli. That fluffy idli. If I don't make that, then my 4-year-old won't eat it. Family. Ultimately, the only relationship that matters is my relationship with Bhagavan. When even your own mind is not helping you, you can hold on to Bhagavan. Because your best friend, your husband, anybody, they'll listen to you whine for 1 day. They'll listen to you complain for 2 days. 3 days, I married her, I have to deal with it, fine. 4 days, 5 days. Something happens in the office, something happens at school. Even your mom and dad, something happens in the neighborhood. How many days will people hear us cry about something? And is there a timeline on when things get fixed in the mind for us? Fixed meaning managed, coped. So I'm taking some online classes. I'm doing a program in chaplaincy right now. And we were talking about grieving. Is there a timeline for grief? No. We have the stages of grieving. And now we have a checklist. Okay, you can be You can feel guilty, then you can feel anger, then you do this, check, 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 you're done grieving. No. So nobody around you can handle that. Oh, go see a therapist. Therapist requires you to schedule time. And just when you're sobbing, oh, time's up, I'm so sorry. Here's a box of tissues, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Why? Seeing my snot next week? Why? Now, I advocate, I'm a huge mental health advocate. If we need to see a counselor, we see a counselor. But I'm talking about the limitations of that also. That's all I'm doing here, right? Bhagwan's available 24/7. We need to build that relationship with Bhagwan. There is nothing else. So, society, family, everybody can have certain expectations of us. Bhagwan doesn't have any expectations. Whatever you give him, he'll be happy. He doesn't need the puffy anything. You give water, anything. So, perhaps you sit, you do your puja if you have time. If you don't have time, manasika puja. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Do your japa. Exit the puja room. Done. See, there's rules for entering and exiting the puja room. Swatiji, I didn't take a bath, so I can't do. Escape. Right? I know this because I've tried all of this. It's not about this person told me. No, I tried all of this. Bhagwan has no conditions. You take a bath, you don't take a bath. Whatever you're going through in whatever month. In your mind, you can always say Bhagwan's name. Through these lips, you can say Bhagwan's name. You can sing his bhajans. Whatever. There's no restriction. There are restrictions when it comes to puja. And then you have puja sannidhi. You have all of that. Respect that. But don't let that be an excuse not to do your sadhana. Right? So many things we try. So, Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karma svanushthiyatam. Do your karma. What karma? Karma given in the Shastras. Now, this is awesome, right? Shastras say, and we have men and women, there's different karmas for different genders. Grahastha, so we have 4 ashramas. You have brahmacharya, so that's when you are single and should be celibate and should be focused on studies. Then you have grahastha. You go straight from single to marriage. Where's the dating and all? It's not there. I'm just speaking about what's in the Shastras, okay? Then you have grahastha, householder's life, graha, house. So after that, you have vanaprastha. It is said, after your first grandchild is born, you're considered as graduated to vanaprastha. You're supposed to leave the house. You don't sit there. What's for lunch? I cut the vegetables, you cut this. Or, oh, my grandbaby, this is how I raised my kid. This is right? You should be mature enough to be able to leave. What do you do after leaving? Sadhana, more sadhana, and serving society. Serving at places like mission as a teacher, places where, whether if you've accumulated wealth, you give the wealth. If you accumulated certain skills, you use those skills to serve society, whatever it is. You don't have to do one or the other. But vanaprastha. Now we retire when we're not able to do anything. We retire when we're like fully spent. I know people who have retired only to go back to work because they don't know what to do with their time. So many things to do with your time. That's actually useful. Right? So then final ashrama, sannyas ashram. Everything, you're done. You retire. Only contemplation. Now, sannyasis have There's diversity in sannyasis as well. We have Shivananji. He was a doctor before he took sannyas. He continued to be a practicing doctor after sannyas. He would treat anyone. If you ever been to Rishikesh, Divine Life Society, they still have a clinic and anybody can go. Usually it's other sannyasis that go there because nobody takes care of them and they have their own views on the body and medicine, right? You need people who can understand that. So you can have sannyasis that still engage in karma, but they're done. In fact, and this is scary if you understand the gravity of it, they do their own pinda pradana, sannyasis. They have a ritual where they conduct their own funeral because they're done with this janma. So the way this is looked at is like a fan, right? You turn the fan on, it spins. You turn it off, does it stop immediately? There's still some momentum. So this sannyasi has stopped. But the momentum is there and they're living that momentum off through seva, that's all. So Taponji Maharaj, he was in, Uttarkashi doing his meditation as we see traditional sannyasis, but different kind of sannyasis. So, 15 minutes, okay. So you have brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, thank you, we're awake, and sannyasa, 4 ashramas. According to each ashrama, you have certain karmas. You don't, as a grahastha, say, for 10 days I'm doing this huge yajna, and for this yajna I will not be able to do any of my household duties. The Shastras say this karma is great, so I'll do that. And as a sannyasi, you don't do certain things. And as a brahmachari, actually, you can just focus on your studies. You don't have to be worried about all these other things. But what is society today? We get so distracted into so many other things. So karmas change according to ashrama, dharma that comes with that ashrama. There's Tri dharma, Purusha dharma, and what your job is, Varna dharma, right? And karmas that come with that. Now, we'll just do a quick concept, and this is something that's, if you have questions, ask. Karma. I said last time, it's not just what goes around comes around. It's more, heavy than that, okay? 3 types of karma, basics of karma, okay? This is in Sanatana Dharma. In Advaita Vedanta, I'm prefacing this. You have something called Sanchita karma, okay? Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agami karma. 3 types of karma, basic karma. This is not karma yoga, karma, action, which includes intention, thought also, intention. What is sanchita? Chayane, it's collection, okay? It's a warehouse. Another example is it's a bank account, right? That helps for me. Bank account full of all of the actions, thoughts, everything we've done over many janmas. Account full of these things, okay? Sanchita. It's a pile. Prarabdha karma. Arambha, beginning. Prarambha, beginning. When I come into this janma, there's a certain amount of papa and punya karma I come with. And I must exhaust them. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I can't prevent certain things. That is my prarabdha. It does not include the heaviness. If we had that heaviness on our heads, janmas and janmas, one trauma is enough for one lifetime. And we live with so many. Imagine all of that. So there's a reason why we don't have all of this. So prarabdha karma, what we live out in this tiny, tiny janma. Then, what's agami karma? The results that are yet to come of the actions and thoughts done during this lifetime. I can choose to strengthen or weaken certain karmas. So people are like, oh, fate versus free will. We love this debate. Fate versus free will. Oh, now I'm awake. Tell me, what is it? Because if it's fate, I'm out of here. If it's free will, I'm still out of here. This is karma siddhanta. It didn't take one person. It took many rishis to see how this world runs and map it out for us to understand. Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agami karma. So is that it? We're in this cycle forever? That's it? That's it? Done? I don't want to do this anymore then. How do we stop this cycle? What do we do with our karma in this cycle? See, this actually answers a huge question many people have about life. Why her? Why me? Why him? Why now? Why not this? Why that small child? Why that older person? Everything comes through this chain of karma siddhanta. So then they're doomed? So God is just like that? God won't take care of us? What's the point of worshiping a God if he can't stop all this negativity? Yeah, kids ask this, we ask this too. If God is so powerful, why is there bad stuff in this world? How many times we think this? How many times we ask this? So, what is given to us is this prarabdha karma. What can we do here? How do we move through this so we don't get stuck in agami? Or at least have a better janma. Right? So, we'll go through this again next class. I'll deepen the conversation about karma. For now, I think it's time to stop, yes. And I'll answer one question after we finish recording, and I think we're done for today. If you still have questions, if you have feedback, positive, negative, I take everything. I have my Post-its, so you can let me know, and if I need to clarify, I will. So we'll end with Purnamadaha. If you're asleep, please wake up. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, we can stop recording. Thank you.